You know the scene, right? You're in a meeting, everyone's on the same page, nodding along, and then one person says, hang on a second. Today we're getting into the head of that person, the tribal contrarian. And it turns out their role might just be way more important than you think.
But seriously, why is there always one? Think about it. At work, in your family, even just planning a trip with friends, there's almost always that one voice pushing back. And yeah, it can be frustrating, it can feel like a total roadblock, but what if this isn't just some personality quirk? What if it's something way deeper, something hardwired into us from an evolutionary standpoint?
Okay, let's go way back. Picture our ancestors out on a hunt. The stakes couldn't be higher. It's feast or famine. The whole tribe, I mean every single person, is convinced the mammoth went left. It's the obvious path. It leads to the watering hole they always go to. The consensus is there. The energy is up. And then you hear it, that one person who says, nope, we should go right. I saw different tracks over there. Everyone else is rolling their eyes. This person is going against the group, slowing everything down. It really seems like they're just trying to be difficult. But why? What is going on there?
So, what's the deal? Is this person just argumentative for the sake of it? Or is this behavior actually a built-in safety feature for the entire group?
Well, it's because groupthink is incredibly dangerous. I mean, it can be lethal. When everyone agrees without asking a single question, the entire tribe is basically betting its survival on one single outcome. But what happens if that popular, easy path leads straight off a cliff? Or, to a watering hole that's completely dried up? See, that person suggesting we go right isn't just disagreeing. They are, in effect, creating an insurance policy for the entire tribe. They're creating a plan B that could literally mean the difference between life and death. And this is really the heart of it. The popular path feels great. It's fast. Everyone's aligned. There's no friction. But the risk? Total catastrophic failure. Now, the contrarian path, that introduces some tension, for sure. But it's also that critical insurance policy. Just by suggesting an alternative, that person forces the group to double-check its own logic. And hey, if that main plan does fail, that annoying idea might just be the thing that saves everybody. All right, so we get it from the group's perspective. A contrarian is valuable for survival. But what's actually happening inside that one person's head? What is compelling them to stand up against all that social pressure? Is it just a need to be different? A grab for attention? Well, psychology tells us it's something way more interesting than that. There's a very specific and very powerful cognitive mechanism at work here. And this is it. It's called psychological reactance. You can think of it as the brain's automatic fight-back mode. It's this deep internal alarm that triggers when we feel like our freedom to choose is being threatened. When the pressure to conform gets too high, some people's brains don't just give in, they push back hard. And I'm sure we've all felt this at some point. It goes something like this. First, a choice is on the table. Then, you start to feel that social gravity, that pull from the group to just agree. But then, bingo, an internal alarm goes off. It's a little voice in your head that says, whoa, hold on, don't just fall in line. And that final step? It's this powerful, almost irresistible urge to assert your own freedom by picking another option. Sometimes it's less about the other option being better and more about protecting your right to choose it in the first place. So this ancient internal gut feeling of reactance isn't just some weird glitch in our programming. When we understand it and harness it, it becomes a huge asset, especially in our modern world. So why should you maybe learn to appreciate or even love the devil's advocate on your team? Well, because they are your built-in protection against lazy thinking. They stop the whole group from sleepwalking into a bad decision. They force everyone to actually think through and defend their own positions. And this whole process, it doesn't just prevent disasters, it makes whatever decision you finally land on that much stronger and more resilient. So really, the next time someone pushes back in a meeting, try to reframe it. They're not just being difficult. They are stress testing the group's logic. They're basically acting as quality control, making sure the entire tribe doesn't march confidently in the wrong direction just because it was the path of least resistance. And so, I'll just leave you with this to chew on. The next time you feel that little alarm go off inside your head, that urge to push back against the crowd, maybe ask yourself, is this my inner contrarian trying to save my tribe?